Greetings, fam. We are going to go into the Jamaican and Akan connection. Now, there are a lot of people in the Caribbean as well as in South America who stand 10 toes down to the fact that they are Africans. Don't call me American, yada, yada, yada. So if you know anyone who's adamant that they are actually an African, you might want to share this video with them. In fact, please do share it with them while we go through the history of the Jamaicans, the Akan, the Igbos, the Gullah Geechee, and all the other people who they say come from modern-day Africa. The colonizers' false version of history tells us that people came from modern-day Africa to America in this transatlantic slave trade. Let's take a look at when the Bight of Biafra was established. It was established in June 30, 1849. Now, prior to the Biafra in Nigeria being established, there was actually one in Cameroon. And the origins of Biafra in Cameroon was said to have been around 1710. Here, we have caught the colonizers in a lie. Take a look at this newspaper clipping, and it's clearly talking about Williamsburg, Virginia. In March 11, 1766, there was an Igbo who they commanded to prison. It says Igbo Negro that ran away, and they were looking for him. They described the outfit that he was wearing. They said that he was wearing a cotton jacket. Now, it also says that he was wearing buckskin breeches. Who else wears breeches, my friends? The Israelite priests. And this is what the breeches look like. In order to cover their nakedness, the priests, when they were doing priestly duties, they were told to wear the breeches so that their flesh was not exposed. So now stay with me. If the Igbo people were actually literally brought from modern day Africa, why is it that the Bight of Biafra was established in 1849, but this Igbo Negro was being pursued in 1766? Not only that, in Prince Edward, Virginia, there's a place called Israel Hill. And why do they call it Israel Hill? Well, it's because it was Israelites that lived there. It was the Igbos. Let's get more into the Jamaican and Akan connection. Did you know that there was a heavy Igbo presence in Jamaica? Absolutely. The Igbo slaves were distinguished physically by their yellow skin tones. Today in Jamaica, red Igbo is used to describe people with light skin tones. And why are they called red? Personally, I believe it has everything to do with the fact that they are American Indians, because you can clearly see the skin complexions. I mean, it was every skin complexion, but the majority of the complexions were fairer skin, were lighter skin, the copper colored, but they were brown, they were dark, they were swarthy, and they were also red, the Israelites. And the Igbos are no different, because they are originally from America and they were dumped in Africa with all of the rest of the Israelites that are in modern day Africa. Junkanoo, yes. Guess who it originated from? The Igbo. Yes, Junkanoo is from the Igbo. Many of the Igbo language words are mixed in with the Jamaican vernacular. Jamaican's history cannot be discussed without mentioning the influence of the Igbos. The Igbo influenced the culture, the music, pouring of libation, everything. And not only does the Jamaican patois language actually have Igbo words in it, it also has Akan language words in it as well. A large number of the Jamaican patois is from the Akan language of modern day Ghana. But keep in mind, ancient Ghana was actually in the Americas, and all of these groups mixed together. They were called the Warriors. They were also called the Senenke people. It was called the Senenke Empire. All of these different groups formed the Kwa language groups, and they all settled in Africa, Central and Western Africa. And in the Bantu expansion, they spread throughout Africa. And once again, I show you these groups here. When the ancient Ghana Empire was destroyed, it resulted in a diaspora that brought the Senenkes to Mali, Mauritania, Senegal, Gambia, Burkina Faso, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea, and modern-day Republic of Ghana, the Kano in Nigeria as well, and also Guinea-Bissau. Now check this out. In Senegal, they have a saying that when the Americans landed on the moon, a Senenke was already there. And what do you think that means? That means that they landed there on them. Just like In the famous words of Malcolm X concerning America and the Caucasoids immigrating to America, he said, "Our forefathers weren't the Pilgrims, and we didn't land on Plymouth Rock. The rock landed on us," meaning they came to our land and they established themselves there in our land, not the other way around. In turn, this is exactly what the Senenke people of Senegal were saying about the Americans, the Akans, and all the people I just showed you, that group of people, they came and they landed on them in Africa. And he said they settled throughout West Africa. In previous videos, I showed the emigration pattern of ships going from the bottom of South America to the top to the Caribbean into the United States, back and forth, up and around, and then out of America to show that they just moved us around the Americas, back and forth and up and down and around, which is why it's called emigrating with an E, not with an I. And proof of that emigrating was the people who are called the Gullah Geechee, because their languages were all mixed in together. I showed you earlier how the Igbo and the Jamaican and the Akan, their languages were all mixed in. Well, it's no different than the Gullah people. It was also mixed in with the Bahamian people, the Barbadian, the Guyanese people, the Belizean, the Jamaican, the Trinidadian, and Tobago, and the Sierra Leone people, all of them, they were all in America together, and they mixed languages and cultures and everything. And their language together was considered to be Sea Island Creole. And here, in this, it also includes the people of Liberia. I've shown this in several videos, but if this is your first time watching me, you clearly see that it was from America that people were taken and they were dumped in modern day Africa and throughout the world. And they were, if you look at the bottom article, it clearly says that the Cherokee people were sent there. Also, the Chickasaw people were sent there. And here are several of the different words that the Jamaican, the Igbo, the Yoruba, the Akan, that they all have in common. And it's simply because they mixed cultures. And as you can see, again, the Igbo people were sent to all these different places. Again, as I stated, they sent people throughout the Americas, up and down the Americas, back and forth throughout. And even in Belize, there was an Igbo town full of Igbo inhabitants. So the majority of the Jamaicans and those people that I just talked about share similar cultures and languages. They were Arawak, Taino, the Kalinga, and they were all considered to be Indians, indigenous to the Americas, South America. And as many of you already know, they were actually brought to modern day Africa and sent throughout the world in Christopher Columbus's slave trade. He made a total of 3 or 4 journeys from 1492 on. And so according to my research, as you can see in yellow, a significant portion of these people were Akan from Ghana and Igbo from Nigeria, which is the connection of the Jamaican and the Akan. Here are the beautiful people that I just talked about. This is the territory they lived in around Dominica. Dominica is absolutely beautiful. I had the pleasure of going there on a cruise. I remember this beautiful waterfall. I took a picture in front of it. It's just absolutely beautiful there. I hope now you can clearly see that people were actually taken from the Americas and they were dumped throughout the world and in modern day Africa. I hope you enjoyed this presentation and thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and follow for more.